Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a good 4th of July and a good long weekend. This video is for educational purposes only, not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stocks or securities. I may hold position in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. Also, if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. The platform I use for charting is called TradingView. The website is called tradingview.com. I'm subscribed to their Pro Plus plan that you see here. It's $29.95 US dollars a month, but you can get an annual subscription of the plan, which is fairly cheap. I like to get my plan on a Black Friday sale when they offer up to 50% off on each of these plans and it comes out fairly cheap. On top of the plan pricing itself, I'm also subscribed to the real-time data, which gives updates the tickers in real time for me. Usually it's between $2 to $5 per exchange, and you can add as many exchanges as you want depending on the country you live in and the market you're trading. The benefits of this plan you can see is you get access to more devices at a time, you can see more charts per tab, you can have access to more indicators, you can save more charts, and you can have custom intervals, and you can have a whole bunch of things that you can go over on this website. But this plan works out to be the best for my use case and for my requirements. I'm subscribed to it. Alright, now let's go back to my actual platform and how I've customized it for my needs. You can see the platform, the screen for me is broken down into three different parts. The topmost part of the layout is basically a daily chart. The bottom left corner is a 15-minute chart, and the bottom right corner is a weekly chart for me. And you can see I have a whole bunch of indicators, not a whole lot, like I don't like to crowd my charts with too many indicators because there's only so much information I can process, and I usually like to not complicate things when it comes to that and act on the information that's in front of me. So in terms of indicators, you can see I use three different moving averages. They are the simple moving averages, and you can see the red one is the 10-day moving average, the green one is the 50-day moving average, and then there's a blue one which is the 20-day 200-day moving average. But right now this chart doesn't have a 200-day moving average, so let's pick a chart, suppose crowdsource. So this one has a 200-day moving average, which is mentioned in blue. Then you also see this white line, which is the 21-day exponential moving average. I use that as well. Then you can see one of my indicators is a Bollinger Band. Right now, the good thing with TradingView is you can hide or unhide the indicators as you wish. So right now I've hidden it, but now if I show it, it helps me visualize the chart. And on daily chart, you don't need to have Bollinger Band at all times. You can just take a peek and mute it to keep the chart clean. That's how I do it. The other thing you can see on the chart is this volume profile at the bottom. You can see it's the yellow one represents sell volume, and the blue one represents its buy volume. It's like the green and red as you see on standard charts. The other thing you can see at the bottom is the RSI. It's the standard settings with 70 and 30. And on the right side of the chart, you can see the indicators called VPVR. These are the settings for it. If you go in TradingView, you can look up this indicator and find these settings. Usually the way to pull this indicator up is you go to indicators, go to volume profile, go to visible range, and then you'll get this, and you can add the settings that I showed you guys. It usually represents for whatever chart that's visible on the screen right now. So for now, it's visible from 31st October 2019 all the way until 2nd of July 2020. It shows how the volume has been traded in the stock as at each price point. So you can see the most volume for the stock was traded at the $50 level, which is also a psychological level. So you can expect a lot of sideways action, a lot of selling or buying happening at those levels depending on how people have been trading the stock. And then you can see some fairly recent high volumes coming in around the $95 and $100 level, and that's obvious. $100 the liver more level, and that's where it's psychological point and a big point for the stock. So these are the indicators, and usually the good thing with TradingView is you don't need to have the indicators and on all the charts. So in a 15 minute chart, I usually don't have all these indicators. The only thing I have is the volume profile and the chart itself. I try to keep the charts uncrowded, as I said before. On the weekly chart, I have the same indicators for the daily chart, and because I'm more about the daily and the weekly analysis of a chart, I usually don't trade a whole lot of price action intraday, so I don't usually use intervals like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or etc. But 15 minutes gives me a long-term perspective of what's going on in the stock and if any major buyer or seller stepped into the market. So it's just good to know. The other thing on my chart I've put in are the earning dates. Sometimes you can see big actions on earning dates or post earning dates. Sometimes the stock gaps up and sometimes it really goes down. So it's good to know if there's a major, like you can see there's a major gap up on the stock here, and you can see it's because they reported earnings and allegedly they were good. So you can expect a gap up at these levels, and that's good to know to make sure that you're not missing out on any vital information. The other thing about the chart is that I've set the colors to my liking. I usually don't like mute colors. I usually don't like too many light or bright colors because I have to look at the screen for a long period of time during the day, and it usually just strains my eye if I have too much brightness on my screen going on. The other thing about TradingView that I like is this widget tool here. You can set some of the favorites that you use on a regular basis. Like I have a trend line, I have a horizontal line, anchored VWAP, I have the parallel channel, and I have a box. Box is something that you can see right here. And I have a brush that I can draw on, mark certain things if I wanna write on the chart, and then there's the standard crosshair. I usually like to keep it on top of the screen. The other thing is you can change this layout. This is something you can go in here and change it based on how you like it. This is the way I've set it. The other thing I usually like to take a look at is the monthly chart, but since there's not a whole lot of movement that happens in the monthly chart on a everyday basis, I usually don't have it in line, but it's good to have that sometimes pulled off. Sometimes I replace the 15-minute with a monthly chart just to take a look at it and see how the stock is doing. The other thing I like is about TradingView is that you can change the intervals like you have it here. You can set the intervals you like, and with the Pro Plus plan you have intervals all the way to 1 minute, 3 minute. You can access each of these intervals that you want, and you can easily access those. The other thing I like is how simple it is to navigate the watch list. Before I used to have a whole lot of different watch lists. Now I'm pretty active with the watch list I have. I keep adding stuff to it as I increase position, or if I'm willing to take a new position, add to the watch list. Keep an eye on it, chart it, and see how it goes. I also set alerts for critical levels. Like here, this was your IPO gap up when it initially happened, and I had this alert set for the sticker here. And when the price crossed here for the first time, it it alerted me, and you can see the alerts column. There's a whole bunch of alerts that I've set in for now, and they alert me whenever that happens, and that's one more feature of the Pro Plus, which is good to have. It's really simple to add tickers to the watch list, so you can add, suppose you want to add Upwork, you can easily add it. It's added to the bottom of the list, and then you can go back here. And I was just working on it this afternoon, and I still have to finish up my analysis on Upwork for a friend. The other thing is when you add something, it automatically saves it. You can change the interval, like it's auto save every 5 minutes, but you can also manually save the chart. So next time you log back into TradingView, your stuff is saved and you don't have to redo any of the stuff you've done. The other thing I like to do is usually every day I like to go over the watch list, keep scrolling through the chart, see if any key levels are being held, and it's fairly simple if you have it arranged based on any of your preferences. Like these are the stocks I've been watching recently and I've been charting. So this is how my trading view looks like. It's fairly simple, not a whole lot of crazy going on, and um, that's this amount of information is sufficient for me to make my decisions. Please let me know if you guys have any comments, if you want me to go over something more and something in depth, maybe the color scheme, maybe the layouts and other things. Anything you guys want me to go in depth, please leave a comment and I'll be more than happy to answer and make a follow-up video if it's needed. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for watching the video so far. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.